Hey witches, if you are enjoying Waking Up the Witch, then you're definitely going to want to check out my magical shop, Moonbee's Wellness in Medford, Oregon. We have a curated collection of crystals, incense, sage, witchy books, tarot, oracle, and so much magic made locally here in the Rogue Valley. Whether you're just beginning your witchy path or you've been on this journey for quite a while, we have so many items to support where you are in your journey. And we ship anywhere in the US, so no need to be local. But Moonbees is more than just a shop. We are also a sacred space and supportive to your healing journey. I'm a Reiki master, and I also offer a lot of intuitive sessions, including past life readings and past life regression sessions. And all of this can be done virtually online, so I can help you no matter where you're at. Come visit us in Southern Oregon or follow Moonbees Wellness on Instagram and Moonbees_Medford on TikTok. And remember, magic's this way.
This episode of Waking Up the Witch is brought to you by Taylor Pickett Styles. I'm Taylor Pickett, and I am an intuitive hairstylist in Southern Oregon. I offer in-person services as well as online tutorials on how to care for your curly hair, how to properly shampoo your hair. If you're a hairstylist, I offer lots of education and one-on-one consulting on how to build your clientele and take care of your clients. If you're interested in any of these services, please reach out to me. There will be a link in the bio. I also offer organic hair care from Innocence Organic Beauty, and you can also buy that online through me, link in the bio, and also on my Instagram page, Taylor Pickett Styles. I also have a TikTok page if you're into just talking a little bit more deeply about things, going into deeper dives about hair care, self-love, and self-worth. My TikTok handle is Southern Oregon Curl. And don't forget, tame nothing, nourish everything. Enjoy this episode. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Amber.
And this is
Waking Up the Witch. We're your neighborhood witches. Each week, we talk about all things witchy and connect with other humans in a storytelling format about navigating life on this floating rock.
We're two curious ladies trying to understand the human experience. But while we do that, we think it's important to honor the people that lived here before us and honor the cultures and traditions that we're being inspired by.
This podcast is about waking up the witch, which means we are learning and growing every day. That being said, we are always open to feedback on how we can do better.
The views and opinions of our guests don't necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Waking Up the Witch. Now, let's go, ghouls.
Hey, how are you?
Well, I feel a little bit better now. I just got some clarity on a subject.
You want to tell us about it?
Well, without any spoilers,
Yes.
I've been very, very, very consumed by these Bravo summer house rumors for I mean, it's been going on since early March, but the last few days have been like every single video on my feed, and now people are like picking apart the last season to see if this like thing happened while the season was happening or if it's been like a post-season thing, and it's giving Scandival. I've never been like a part of the Bravo community when a
In real time.
scandal has like happened. Yeah, it's always like post, and so it's like very, very crazy. I feel
Your face is
part
cute.
of it
I
now.
want to take a picture of your face, Jelly, because it's so cute.
I'm so excited. Maybe that's why I couldn't like talk well during our entire interview.
You did
because
so good.
this has been like a rough period.
The Bravo.
No, my period.
Oh,
in my underwear.
period. In my underwear.
In my uterus.
You know, okay, this
Everyone.
is kind of strange. Literally,
Okay, but one of
everybody I know.
Something about Venus.
Oh, is that why we're all bleeding like extra?
Yeah, let me see what
heavily and
Caitlin
painfully
said. She was like, "Oh, it makes sense because Venus is doing something."
It's just so strange. Like literally, like I had one of the worst periods I've had
Everyone.
in a while. You and Alicia both were like
All my clients.
later and like really bad, and it's crazy. I'm like, why are we all experiencing this right now?
What did she say? Oh, maybe it's Venus, female planet, conjunct with Chiron, planet of
Mm.
eternal wounds, in Aries, blood. LMAO. And I just responded, always down to blame it on the stars.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Maybe it's all our feminine rage ready to
Yeah.
come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all purging something, I think, you know, and collectively, like we're all, oh, yeah, just chills thinking about that. Like
Let's
all the
go, baby.
women right now at this time, and for us all to be experiencing that. So, yeah, this is end of March. If you had a really crazy cycle, know that
What
we're
if we're
all
like
on it
in
together.
the point of like, what if we get to be alive during like peak womanhood that hasn't happened in like centuries?
I
What
think
if it's
so.
starting and
It's
we're here
starting.
for it?
Yeah. I feel that
I just had the
100% in my
urge to
bones.
scream so loud.
I think it's happening.
Cool.
Here for it.
Our guest today was so cute, so
So
fun,
fun.
inspiring, beautiful, lively, jazz hand.
So cute. Yeah, she was, I feel very energized, like, from our conversation and just learning about her life. And like, I feel like there's so much too that we like didn't quite get. I had so many other
Quickie.
questions, and just trying to like, you know, be mindful of time. It's her anniversary today, so happy
Happy
anniversary
anniversary.
again. But yeah, I'm feeling very alive and excited, and just another inspirational thing. Like, I think
New
so
friend.
many people, you know, there's been like the memes going around of like, most women don't achieve blah, blah, blah until they're like 45. Most women billionaires don't like get all their money until like 60 or whatever. And it's like, I think it's just one of those things of like, to remember that you're exactly where you're supposed to be on your journey, and everything that you want and desire also is wanting you, and you just haven't arrived to it yet. And like, there's no rush. Like, we don't need to like hurry up and have it all right now, because there's still so much life experience to have. And like, if these are the things that you want or desire, you want to start a business, or you want to like do something totally different that maybe no one else in your family has, like, we can still do it,
And
and
do
you
it
don't run out of
scared.
time.
I'm so scared lately of all the things that we're doing. And I think, well, successful people just do stuff scared and they fail sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
I won't fail because I'm awesome. I'm
Well,
scared of the
failure
new Moonlight
isn't,
and Magic stuff. I'm like feeling the pressure is on and I want to show up and show out. And I'm like kind of calm down a little
well,
sometimes because I'm starting to stress.
we've kind of accidentally built something totally wild, different from what we, I mean, I guess we didn't really have like a full thought of just like, we want to create a community gathering with these things that are included. And it just like, each one keeps building on itself, and more people know about it and want to be a part of it or join it, or, you know, like, I get that. I get that pressure. And we're going to do awesome. And we're not alone. We have each other.
Yep.
We're also a week and a half away from our next one. So,
I'm
and
stressing about the summertime
while
one.
planning all of our
I
next ones,
feel
which is new for us.
good and comfy about spring.
Good. Good.
How do you feel about it?
I feel great. Just
Okay.
trying to like finalize the like advertising pieces.
Yeah.
So there's just kind of the pressure to get
But like
that
at
shit
work,
done.
every person I'm like handing a flyer to, like
Hell
they're all
yeah.
like, yeah, let's go. And then people come in and they're just sitting on the coffee table and they're like, oh, this looks fun. So I feel like a lot of people are going to come and have
Cool.
been chatting about it. And
Great.
at the end of the day, if we just have a fun party for our friends, which is
Exactly.
always the vibe, then that's fun too.
Yeah, 100%. No, I think
Maybe
it's
not
all
for
going to
the
be good.
vendors, but
No, it'll be great. It's all going to be great. And we're really good at doing this together, all three of us. So
I agree.
I think all of the other ones, I think this is just the first time where we've been planning like multiple at the same time.
Like 3.
Yeah. and kind of
We have a
4,
meeting today.
kind of 4. So it just feels like a little scattered and trying yeah, it's, like, hard to know where the focus needs to go. So, but it's all gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be so fun. So, if you're local to Southern Oregon, come hang out with us. We have a lot of fun Moonlight and Magic events planned that we'll be talking about on here and sharing more.
Make sure to go over to patreon.com/wakingupthewitch.
Mhm.
We are doing our monthly co-creation call. We've got really good meditation that we just put up. The zine is zining. It's so cute.
So cute.
All the things. There's so much to offer. We have a Bravo chat that no one's really responding to me in. So that one's free if you want to go chat about the summer house drama, which who knows where life will be when this comes out. We can talk about it over there.
Yeah, and we have bonus episodes every month and
Q&As.
Q&As,
The last
spells
one
and
was so funny.
rituals. Oh yeah, we had a guest appearance from Joey. If you've been around, you know who Joey is. If not,
If
come find
you're
out.
a Patreon patron, then you probably know him from there too.
Yes. So much fun.
Okay, well,
Enjoy.
we are going to get to work and we have another episode we're recording in a little bit and we're doing all the things. So we will see you next week. Enjoy.
Enjoy. Welcome, welcome. Close your eyes if you're able to, if that feels safe. And we are just going to take 3 deep grounding breaths to connect all of our energy, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. So let's take our first big deep breath in and release. Another deep breath in and exhale. And this last one, breathing in all your blessings and magic. A little deeper. And exhale, releasing your to-dos, any stress or worries, and just grounding into your body, into your space, and into the earth, feeling held. We'd like to call in our spiritual guides, our ancestors, our higher selves, and any other beautiful, loving energies that want to hold us in this safe, loving, beautiful container today. And we just trust that whatever is meant to come through for the collective at any point when they're listening comes through. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, hello. Yay. Welcome to
Hi.
Waking Up the Witch. Tell us who you are. And if you know your big 3 in astrology, tell us those things too.
Yeah. Hi. Thanks so much for having me. I love
Yeah.
being on a podcast called Waking Up the Witch.
Yay.
I am Dana B. Myers, and I'm a reader and a spellcaster and an event facilitator. I'm based out of Miami right now, but I've lived all over the place. I have a long, interesting career journey, which I'm sure we'll get into. Um, and I am a Capricorn through and through.
Oh,
I'm as Capricorn as they come. Um,
amazing.
as my son, I am a Taurus rising, which
Mm.
is so going to make sense when I share what I spent 20 years in my professional career before this doing. And I am a Virgo moon.
Oh,
The Virgo,
amazing.
yeah, the Virgo is always like a little
Oh,
bit perplexing to me. So maybe we can talk about that.
Yeah.
But I'm
so
triple
much
Earth.
earth. That's wild.
Just earthy, 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 earthy.
Earthy. Cute.
Yeah,
Love
cute.
that. Awesome. Well, we're so happy you're here, Dana. Thanks for joining us. Take us
Thanks.
back to the beginning. Tell us all about you, where you grew
Yeah.
up,
Yeah,
all the magic.
I grew up in the south side of Chicago. Um, and I'm Eastern European Jewish and then 25% Sicilian. So it's like
Mm.
a lot of temper and spice and passion and love. Um, and typically when you're a girl and you say you're from the suburbs of Chicago, people always assume you're from the North Side, right? Where most of the
Okay.
Jewish community is. But I'm a South Side girl, which is known as being like a little bit rougher.
Mm.
Like it's where a lot of the crime was in Chicago.
Mhm.
You're a White Sox fan if you're a South Side girl. And so there's like a real pride in being a South Side girl. It means you're like, I grew up well provided for, but like tough and ready to rumble and
Mhm.
a lot of grit and a lot of work ethic. My maiden name is Braverman. And I always felt very connected to that, like that bravery, that courage, that work ethic. So that's a big part of who I am. I grew up very loved. God, that's the word that comes to mind. I grew up
Aw.
very loved by both my parents. Very like supported to be who I wanted to be. I was a pianist. I studied classical piano and theater, so I was always performing. Um, and when I was 10, we moved into a very, very, very old home. It was like, I mean, for America, it was old. It was like 95 years old or something.
Wow.
And within the first few weeks of moving in, I started to notice energies that felt a little scary to me as a 10-year-old following
Mhm.
from my bathroom to my room. And I was like, looking behind me, what's going on? What is this? And so I just started instinctively, got intuition, right? Turning around and saying, can't come in. Like
Yes.
you can, like, I know you're here, but you cannot come into my room. And that was my first experience with something witchy and woo woo. That was my
Good
real,
job, baby witch.
Yeah.
just intuitively, the baby witch was like, I see you're here. I understand your power, but you have to understand mine.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Love
And
that.
that was really the beginning for me of my spiritual quest, my journey into, the other worlds and my gifts. And from there, it was kind of one thing after the next. Um, all while I was studying music and being creative, and also like chasing boys with long hair. I call them long haired dudes. Like that's how I got into the music business. I was chasing out LHDs. Um,
LHDs. I'm
LHDs.
obsessed.
Me and my girlfriends were like, we're the LHD club, and we would, go out and find these rocker boys.
I would totally be in that club.
Totally, right? I was just like hungry for magic, hungry for experience, hungry for boys, hungry for my dreams, and I
Mhm.
was supported in that. Um, you know, listen, I went to school for piano performance and music business. While I was in college, my spiritual world opened up greatly. I became really connected with the fairy world. Fairies became a big part of my life. The fairies would come in and drop what I called like golden nuggets of wisdom. And they would
Cute.
literally like zoom in. I would see them as washes of color. And they would like drop like a little golden nugget of wisdom, of revelation that I would then write about in my journals. And what I started learning about myself is that my connection to spirit was helping me in my material life, right? So if I was studying for a big test or preparing for a big piano performance, I would ask the fairies, what do I need to know? Can you give me the strength? Can you give me the creativity? Can you connect me like to the energy of Mozart to come through me, right? And so I just started blending the magical and the practical. And if I had to kind of sum up my life, the way I live my life, the way I operate in any business I've been, any business I've started, any accomplishment that I've set my mind to and achieved, it has been truly by blending my magic and my
Mm.
practical. Magic
Mhm.
and action, magic and action. That's the Capricorn. I'm like, I
Right?
need a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow my steps, and I'm gonna pray on it, and I'm gonna light candles on it, and I'm gonna put herbs on it. Um,
The
that's
spreadsheet, that's your Virgo.
the spreadsheet is
100%.
so
Yeah, they're
Virgo.
like, "How do we organize all this?"
Totally, and I
And then the
struggle and,
Capricorn's like, "Let's go."
and there you must be a fairy in my life because that's a big golden drop of wisdom because it's like but it's my Virgo moon. So it's the how can I
Yeah.
organize this? But the moon is like, you can't, honey. Right? The moon is
Well,
like,
it's kind of beautiful too, like being Capricorn because it's the sea goat. So it literally is like going to your depths and
yes,
bringing up your dreams from that moon energy within
yes,
you because the moon is also like your shadow and what's deep
yes,
down. And then the
yes,
Capricorn like brings the dreams to earth, and
yes.
climbs the mountain and goes for it. So
Yes.
that's awesome
Thank
hearing
you. Thank
how
you,
it all
fairy
plays out for you.
sisters.
Yes.
Cute.
Thank
I'm
you.
just a baby astrologer, but it's really fun to kind of see how things play out.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. I wound
I
up, always connecting with different women. I always had like female
Yeah.
mentors in my life, women who
Mhm.
were a little bit older than me, magical women. Read this book, try this deck,
Cute.
um, come with me to this workshop. And so I always had these other women leading me forward. And that's always been super important that I have women leading me forward and that I'm also gathering women in my
Mhm.
life to bring them along on my journey with me, not
Yes.
in some hierarchical way, but with
Yeah.
me. And so career wise, I got into the music business, moved to New York, went to grad school at NYU to study business and entertainment, always hustling, always magicking, doing both at once. Um, and then after 9/11, I just turned 50 in December. So I was, how old was I?
What?
20. Yeah, I know.
You look
Such a
so
witch.
yeah.
Totally. It's like I'd been drinking from some magical fountain of youth.
Holy
Uh-huh.
shit.
The
Okay,
truth is
sorry.
that I just didn't really go in the sun because I always got burned. So I think it did me
Mhm.
well.
Yep.
But after 9/11, New York was a mess. And all my friends in LA were like, come here. It's great. Like, we got no problems. So I did a spell, right? I was like, how can I get to LA? I put some magic on it and then I put the action on it. I created a really cool resume that looked like the review pages in Rolling Stone. And I just
Oh my
sent it
god, so cute.
and I got a great job. And within 4 or 5 weeks, I was packing up and moved to LA. But before I left, I received a love spell from a witch that I knew in New York. And I was like, I am not looking for love. Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm young, I'm 25, I'm not ready. I don't want it. Like, maybe later, maybe never. I don't know. I'm independent,
Uh-huh.
Like, honey, baby, dolly, sweetie. No, like, you are meant to have. And that was a really interesting instance because, again, I grew up in this like family where my parents stayed together. And so I saw the vision of it, and I think a part of me really wanted that, but I also think that a part of, like, me was like, "I don't know if I will find it," right? That, like,
Mhm, mhm.
inner doubt, like, "Will I find it?" I never
Yeah.
really had serious boyfriends. I was kind of floating around. So I think that's where it was like that was a little bit of my shadow, right? Coming,
Mhm.
"I don't know." And she's like, "No, listen, do the spell." So she made me this dress. She was a dressmaker. She soaked the fabric in a tea that she had infused with all kinds of magical herbs and
Wow.
properties. She wrapped me in the fabric and cut the dress on me and sewed it up with fishing wire and told me what the spell was. And I took this dress with me to LA and I did the spell. And it involved, the list, right? That we all know about
Uh-huh.
this. But it had a unique take on it. And of course, it involved sex magic and pleasure magic.
Mhm.
And I cast the spell and I met the love of my life 11 days later.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And he truly is the love of my life. I mean, we've been together, we've been married again for 21 years today.
Happy
Um,
anniversary.
thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
love. I'm gonna
I
cry.
love love too.
I love love.
So sweet.
But a lot of people are like, oh, so I can just do the love spell and like not work on my own shit or, just expecting to fall out of the sky. I'm like, no, you got to do the spell, the magic, and then marry it with the practical, with the action.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was
I
cleaning
think
up
that's
all.
a very important note on, like you've said it a couple times, but manifestation. Like you can't just sit in your house and like do the meditations and the visualizations and think that everything's going to come to you. It has to have action with it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or else like it will never happen. Nobody's going to knock on your door and be like, "Do you want this opportunity?"
Yeah.
Hello. You know what I mean?
Yes, for sure. For
Also,
sure.
with the love thing, I saw a quote yesterday that made me cry that was saying, like, being in love is like a collaborative healing
Ugh,
experience,
yeah.
and I felt that, like, really
Cute.
deeply. I just feel like, yes, you have to work on your stuff, but also when you meet the right person that loves you unconditionally, you're able to be yourself more and work through so many things, and then you're triggered, and then you're healing, and it's like
Yeah.
so many things. And so I don't always believe
Mm,
the quote, like, you have to love yourself before anybody else can love you. I think when someone
mhm.
else loves you and sees your value, sometimes it helps you see your own.
I agree with that. I agree with
Mhm.
that. And also, what I find is that people, because I do a lot of love spell work now in my studio, and people will come in and, if they're super spiritual, they're like, my guy has to be super spiritual or my love has to be
Mm.
super spiritual. And I'm like,
Mhm.
they may not need to
Mhm.
be.
Yeah.
Like the most important thing is like they can hold the container for
Yes.
you to have the
100%.
time and space and freedom to be in your spiritual expression. They don't have to meet you. Of course, it's nice if you want someone to come with you to the workshops and this and that.
Right.
Um,
Neither
but
of our guys are spiritual.
yeah, well, I will say,
They
guys,
They're
work hard for
open.
us, yeah.
yeah,
They're
yeah, like
open-minded, but they're
my
not out
husband
here
is,
doing the practices with us.
yeah. So my husband is super open-minded, supports the crap out of me. And
Mhm.
I mean, I came in, he popped into the studio the other day. I was working on this altar with a huge ram's head
Yeah.
candle
Yeah.
from Madame Pamita, who's amazing. And he comes in and he's like, what the? And we just started laughing. And he's like, enjoy.
Yeah,
Um,
bye.
the beauty though is that I now make little spells for him. I now make
Cute.
tiny
Mhm.
spells, little altars with little incantations, and I just bring them into his office and I put them on his desk. And when I go in there to say hi to him, they're burning. And like
Oh.
after 21 years of marriage, to see that he's so open that he's now like tasting the practice is really
Yes.
special.
Love it.
Yeah, I totally
Um,
agree with that.
So, listen, I moved to LA, was still in the music business, met the love of my life, and then we decided to start a brand in the sexual wellness industry.
Amazing.
And this was before the sexual wellness industry is as we know it today. This is when it was super triple X and roadside
Oh,
stores. And
yeah.
I was always going into those stores to buy my friends their first vibrators. I was like,
Mhm.
orgasms, what is your life? Uh,
Mhm.
and at that time, I just thought I'm just like a serial entrepreneur. I was like, there's nothing that there's nowhere where I want to shop.
Mhm.
And so I shared this idea. It was called Booty Parlor. I had meant to say beauty parlor because that's where I grew up. My mom is a makeup artist, and I just tagged along with her to the shop all the time, watched her do her makeovers on women and with the conversation. It was like women's inner beauty, women's inner
Mm.
magic would come out through this exchange with my mother. So female empowerment was just always massive in my life.
Mhm.
And my parents also just like acknowledged who I was as a sexual being.
Oh,
And
gift.
they just such a gift. And so they
Mhm.
acknowledged that as a normal, healthy part of my life and helped me develop boundaries and all these things and values around it. But I was always the girl talking to my friends about magic, beauty, and pleasure, right? And I was like, well, why not start a business and let's make pleasure beautiful? So we
Hi,
started a business.
Taurus.
I know. That's the Taurus.
Yeah,
Thank
totally.
you. Yeah, that's that
That
Taurus.
Venus energy.
Totally. So we started that brand. I had no experience in consumer goods, had never made a beauty product, had never made a piece of lingerie, but we figured it out, launched the brand. Um, and very shortly after we got launched, having come out of the entertainment business where I was leveraging the power of celebrity and brand partnerships, I was like, let me do the same with this brand.
Mhm.
So I was like chasing celebrities down on Melrose Avenue and being like, here's my lubricant. Like it's just as important as like your shampoo. Um, and so I wound up getting some amazing celebrity press in the early days
Amazing.
when like Us Weekly was still a thing. Like again, I'm 50, so this was a while back.
Yeah.
We got scouted by Victoria's Secret as a baby brand, and we got brought in to Victoria's Secret and grew our brand with them for 9 years. We
Wow.
their best-selling third-party brand.
Wow.
Um, and
Congrats.
was
That's
Thank
huge.
you. Thank you. Um, and again, that was not a journey like this. That was like
Mhm.
this. That was like, "Oh, shit. Are we almost bankrupt? Yes. Oh, can we save it again? Yes. Uh-oh, are we almost bankrupt? Oh my god, yes, let's save it." And so again, always casting spells, always doing rituals, not just to
Mhm.
land that next client, to get that next purchase order, to get the book deal, which I got, but it was like to steady myself when
Mm.
we were at our lowest moments,
Mhm.
right? And calling on Hecate to light her torches for me when I didn't know how we were going to get through certain situations.
Mhm.
Um, but loved that business, loved talking to women about the power of pleasure, their own unique life force magic. And I loved that. I loved that. I wrote 2 books about women and sex and went on that whole journey, had 2 kids
Wow.
during
Mhm.
during that journey. I have 2 children. They
What
are
are your
now
books?
Mhm.
So my books are under the sort of umbrella called the Mojo Makeover. This was like back in the day when like Cosmopolitan was still a thing. So
Yeah.
it's like very Cosmo style tips and
Oh,
tricks. Called the
love
official
it.
Parlor Mojo Makeover, 4 weeks to a sexier you. And then my short titles. And then
So
my
cute.
second book was after I had 2 kids and I needed to rediscover my pleasure
Yeah.
within the framework of that busy life of having 2 children and being in a marriage and parenting and all that. So that was called the Mommy Mojo Makeover. Um,
So
and
fun.
so fun, so
Are they
fun.
still available or being
I
printed?
think the first one is out of print. The second one you could probably still get on Amazon, the Mommy Mojo Makeover. I think it's still around. Um, And then we sold it. We sold the business in 2024.
Hell yeah.
Um, and that was a really beautiful moment. I mean, those last few years of running that business were really, really tough, like really super underworld journey,
Mhm.
and like underworld journey in the business coinciding with underworld journey in my mid 40s.
Mhm.
Um, and, crossing that threshold in so many ways from like the persona that I had built, right? For that external persona for that business,
Mhm.
like no longer feeling in alignment with
Yeah.
that, having to untangle myself from that, allow a new expression of myself to come forward without knowing exactly where I was going to go. So it takes like
Yeah.
a lot of bravery, a lot of trust. Again, those threshold
Mhm.
crossings, crossing the threshold of like, oh my God, just like evaluating certain dynamics in my marriage, right? And like
Mhm.
evolving a marriage, evolving identity. Um,
What do you feel like about you had changed and like what didn't feel like you anymore and who were you like finding yourself to be, I guess?
so I was noticing my addiction to external validation, right?
That's
Like,
huge.
yeah, humongous,
Mhm.
humongous, and like
Chills.
a monster to untangle from, right? Like, I was noticing that I had allowed my worth to become so attached to my professional accomplishments, right?
Mm.
How many products did we sell in that launch? How many books did I sell? Did I get on that TV show? Like, and when I didn't, it was like stress and
Yeah.
agony. And it was like, people would look at me and they'd be like, but wait, you have this beautiful life. Like, look at your beautiful love and your children and your happiness. Like, why aren't you happy? And I
Mm.
was like, I don't know. And then I realized I was so attached to the external validation, the external praise. And I really had to like rebuild. It was like a tower moment. When you see
Mhm.
that, you can't unsee it. And I was unhappy and it was,
Mhm.
coming down and it was crumbling. Um, and then the star, the star of the
Yes.
and very much, I mentioned Hecate earlier, but like she was really with me every day for
Mm.
many, many years, helping me take steps to to first give myself the space to explore who I wanted to be. As a Capricorn, I'm always like, well, what's next? Yeah,
Mhm.
right. Let's make it quick. Okay. Like, rebuilding, reinventing, allowing for an identity to evolve, to cross a threshold, right? That's not quick. That
Mm-mm.
takes patience to navigate the darkness. It takes permission to give yourself the time and space to go slow, you
What a
know?
lesson.
That was a huge lesson for me in my 40s. 42 to 47 was just like lessons in the
Mhm.
darkness.
I don't
And
know what specifically, but I know that there's a lot of, like, planetary, things that happen in your
mm,
mid-40s for a lot of people
mm,
where, like, I think that is very normal for you to have
mm.
to, like, come back and figure out who you are now, because it is this
Yeah,
whole new threshold, the
yeah,
perimenopause, and you're
yeah,
heading towards your crone era, and so,
yeah,
on top of that, there's just so much,
yeah,
like, who the fuck am I am? I've been people
yeah.
pleasing my whole life trying to
Mm,
fit into this mold that I'm supposed to be through
mm.
my teens, 20s, and 30s,
Mhm.
and, like, I just turned 40 this year, so I feel it.
Congrats.
Thank you. I feel like my 30s was, like, the first time where I'm like, "Okay, I'm, like, actually getting permission to, like, discover who I am and kinda own who I am," and
Mhm.
as that, like, continued, I feel, like, even stronger in that, so I'm stoked for 40s, but I know it's gonna be transformational as well.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. And also, like, maiden, mother, crone, I think what I realized, is like, there's a fourth, right? And like, what's the fourth? It was like maiden,
Mm.
mother, queen, maiden, mother, guardian,
Ooh,
and then
thank you.
crone. Like, I'm super excited to be crone, but like, I'm not there yet.
No,
Like,
no.
I'm definitely straddling, like, the mature, healthy mother with, like, the fucking kick-ass queen, the
I
guardian.
love that fourth,
Um,
the
well,
queen.
yeah, so I'm really playing with that by way of a
Yes,
threshold and
please.
archetypal work. Um, so how did I get here? This is like, how did I get here in the moonbeam? That's what I call my studio, the
Oh
moonbeam.
my
That's
god,
that's
my
my dog. Yours, moonbees,
Yeah.
moonbees. Yeah,
right?
That's so
Yeah,
cute.
yesterday
crazy.
on social.
Like, wow,
Um,
cute.
my son's middle name is Magic, and my daughter's middle name is
Wow.
Moonbeam. And
Stop,
so
so
when
cute.
I sold Booty Parlor, I was like, what am I doing? Like, how am I like, what does it mean to become a professional witch? And like, do I
Mhm.
need a space? Like, what am I doing here? And so there was this little room in my house that was available. And I was like, that is mine. That is not becoming the video game room for my teenage son. It's mine. That's queen
Yes.
energy, right?
Yeah.
That's guardian energy. I'm
Yeah.
guarding my
Yes.
space. So I
He
took
already
this
has a room, hopefully.
and I made it into this like this beautiful witchy parlor. And I just started giving myself the space and time to explore what this next path looks like. And I hesitate to say professional path because it's super blended now. Like it's a
Mhm.
professional personal path. Um,
Yeah.
but it is allowing the personal path of witchcraft to also become professional, right? The path I've been on
Mhm.
my whole life to become professional.
Mhm.
But I have been super cautious and careful not to fall back into my old patterns of must achieve, must hit,
Right.
must get to this amount of followers, must sell this many things. And that is a pattern that it is like it's on my ass all the time.
Yeah, I feel like that's gotta be, like, a battle for you. Like,
It
how do
is.
you manage that? What do you do to, like, stay grounded in the magic?
I do a lot of ritual. Like, I'm
Mhm.
like 5 nights a week. I'm like, bye, family. I'm like going out to set some shit on fire. Um,
Yes.
I have, it's every, I would say every year. This is, I've been working on this for a long time. I feel like every year, every week, whatever, every day, the grip maybe gets a little bit less because I'm working on it. I
Mhm.
know it is my attachment to achievement combined with my issues around scarcity,
Right.
right? Like, And for me, scarcity shows up as, what if my luck runs out?
Mm,
Like, is my luck gonna run out? I'm a very lucky person. Like I said, I was well provided for. We weren't like wealthy as growing up, but like I was well provided for.
mhm,
I have abundance in my life right now, right? Through the sale of my company.
mhm,
And yet I still feel like, is my luck gonna run out? Like, am I
mhm,
gonna like, could I go work at Starbucks? Like, I used to be a
mm,
server. I'm like, I could go back to cocktail serving. Like,
mhm.
there is an imbalanced amount of scarcity that I feel in
Oh,
relation
yeah.
to the reality of my life.
Relatable. Well, and also,
Like,
like, being in business and having those dips and then the highs, like, I think that's just kinda built in where it's like, "Okay, I'm on a high, like, when's it gonna drop again?" And it
yes,
is like riding that roller coaster, like, you it's coming, and then
yes,
it's also kind of exciting when you think about it in a roller
you're
coaster
right.
view. When you do the
You're
drop, like,
right.
it's kind of fun. It's kind of
You're
the fun
right.
part that you're building towards, so
You're right.
Disagree. Not
I
fun.
mean,
Okay. Well,
I'm
it's
just
like
thinking about it in that
Yeah.
it's
regards,
like
not
Don't
necessarily in
like.
business.
on a cellular level, I think the body
Yeah,
does think it's exciting.
right.
Then
That build.
emotionally, it's quite taxing,
Yeah.
right? And so I
Yeah.
think what I've been trying to do is like lean into the cyclical nature of it, right?
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like understanding that, the moon has cycles, nature has cycles. We know this,
Mhm.
we're witches.
Mhm.
And then I forget that I have a cycle. Like, I'm not always going to be
Right.
climbing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I'm
how
going
you
to,
build momentum though. Like,
yeah,
that's what gets you to the higher peak. Like,
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
we have to drop so that we can
Very interesting.
soar. Like,
Very
you otherwise
interesting.
you don't get back up. Like,
Yeah,
it really
yeah,
is part of the cycle, you
yeah,
know? It's
yeah.
scary, it's hard, it's
Hmm.
like, "Holy fuck, am I gonna be able to eat dinner tonight? Can I pay my bills? Do I have to go back to the old life?" And
Yeah.
with that, because I'm on that roller coaster every fucking
Okay.
day and all that
Yeah.
scarcity mindset is very real for me, and I
Yes.
know for you too. I think about, like, do I have to I don't wanna go back to that old life, but, like, if I had to, what would be my game plan? Like, kinda just
Mhm.
preparing. And I
Mhm.
had an intuitive person I was, like, doing tradesies with, and she told me, she was like, "Amber, you can't go back. Like, there's no path back. You
Yeah.
burnt like, the bridge is burnt. There's no
Mhm.
way. Like, you've crossed that threshold. So, like, going
Mhm.
back, just like, it's not possible. It's just a new
Mhm.
forward if something were to happen." But she's like, "But it's not. Like, you're on it. This is what you're supposed to do. And that's just going to lead you to the next thing that you're supposed to
Yeah.
And
do."
it will make you more creative and you have more like grit and like more skills and all these other
Mhm.
things that you didn't have before. So if what
Mhm.
you're doing now doesn't work, you can always pivot to something else because you've built this huge closet of skills.
Right.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's like evidence-based, right? Like I
Exactly.
had an idea, I built it. It was hard, it was up and down. Maybe it
Mhm.
won, maybe it lost. I lived,
Mhm.
right? I
Mhm.
survived.
Exactly.
I learned. I moved on. I started another thing, tried another thing, did another thing.
Mhm.
I'm also thinking like sometimes when you do dip down, you are forced to like bring alive one of the things that you've had on the back burner that you didn't really need for a while.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
I'm speaking for myself. I've built all these things that I haven't like put out on the internet because I
Yes.
just didn't. But it's like when you need it, you'll have it and then you can create it.
I love that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I do a lot of ritual around this scarcity issue, around my ancestors and
Mm.
where the scarcity was that came
Mhm.
through my ancestral line. Um I've done a lot of like forgiveness work on some of my ancestral lines, and
Mhm.
that has like I discovered like that like the struggle, right? My attachment to struggle, and struggle meaning I'm worthy because it must mean I'm working hard if I'm
Right.
struggling.
Right. I feel that.
Like I've like it's come through in ritual, like which family member that comes from.
Mm.
My great grandma Lena Pellegrino came to me in a ritual the other night.
Lena Pellegrino.
Lena
Oh my
Pellegrino,
gosh,
and
what a
she was
name.
at the stove cooking her spaghetti sauce like she used to. And her skin felt exactly like it did as I was a kid. And she was like, the struggle was mine. Like the struggle was my generation. It's not yours.
Oh.
Like, you don't need it. You moved beyond. Like
Mm.
you in this incarnation, you don't need it.
Mhm.
And I said,
Wow.
like, I get that, but why am I still holding on to it then? And then she like dropped this whole thing on me that I had to forgive my grandmother. She's my great grandma. I had to forgive my grandmother, who I'm like still really angry at for a number of
Mm.
reasons. Um, and then this huge full body experience of forgiveness came through. And it was so connected to my feelings of scarcity. It was almost
Wow.
like the anger that I still had it's somehow connected to the scarcity and the control and white
Mhm.
knuckling it and muscling things.
Mm.
And when I put forgiveness on it, I immediately felt an expansion. I
Yeah.
immediately felt the scarcity relax. I immediately felt the flow come in. And then I was using twine. I had tied these candles together with twine, and then they caught fire as this whole forgiveness moment was happening.
Mm.
And then the fire alarm went off right as I was experiencing this moment of forgiveness. And so I'm trying to read into that
Wow.
message because I had to stop the ritual. I had to climb up on a ladder and turn the fire alarm off.
You're
I'm
like,
still
"What is mom doing in the other room?"
I love
well,
candle
listen,
magic.
how do I work on it? I work on it. I
Yeah,
work
Mhm.
on it.
so as you're saying all this, I resonate so much, and before you even said, like, your grandma, like, my ancestors were immigrants from Italy as well, and, like, very, very poor. There was, like, a story in my family that, like, when they came to America, that, like, my great-grandmother slept in a dresser drawer because they couldn't afford, like, a crib, and
Yep.
so I'm feeling like a lot of the same scarcity things I feel, no matter how accomplished, and the fact that like I'm always hustling no matter what is probably tied back to very similar
Mhm.
things.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I have full body chills hearing you talk about
Mhm.
that. I can relate very much so. Yeah. And I guess that's like a big thing for me. Like, I have an altar over here. Every year I do one altar that I nourish throughout the year and then multiple altars in between. But the altar that I built for this year, it's all purple. And I used moss. I bought all this
Mm.
moss, the most freaking flammable thing. Talk about fire alarms.
Uh-oh.
I got moss on my altar. But I've got moss all over this altar because it's soft and it's lush.
Mhm.
The big arc of that altar and the meaning of it for me is to settle into the lushness and abundance of my life,
Mm.
right? Like, is to appreciate what I have. Like, the sky's not falling, right? And of course, anything can happen at any moment.
Right.
But being in the what if, being in the, well, what if my luck changes? What if the sky falls? Like, I'm trying to be more in the what can I appreciate about the
Mhm.
abundance of my life today?
Mhm.
And that is health, that
Uh-huh.
is my love, that is my children. I have both my parents. I have a community of friends who love and accept me. And like 90% of them are muggles here, right? And they like
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
love and accept me.
Florida.
And right? It's just like there's not a huge witchy community here. There's just not. And so a lot of my witchy friends are like through the internet.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I want to, that is a big arc, is developing my sense of settling in this
Yeah.
year to the love
Presence.
of what already exists. Yes, present.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's where the
Yeah.
peace is. I always come back to that of like, I have to remember when I'm spiraling, it's like, I'm just anxious about the what ifs and
Yeah.
like the things that I don't know and I can't control that. And if I'm so
Mhm.
present, then like, yeah, and we're just so busy with so many things that it's kind of
Yeah. For
hard to
sure.
get caught up in the loop anymore, which is kind of nice. We're just like
Mhm.
turning on all these faucets, building all these different
Mm.
avenues of safety and
Great.
security and
Beautiful.
yeah, there's so much right now in this moment, like, to be grateful for,
Yeah. Yeah, there
to
is.
find the peace.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know Stephanie Capone?
I don't. No.
So I don't know where in Florida, but she's also in Florida. She's
Okay.
also a tarot lady,
Yeah.
From New
author,
York.
amazing. She's from New York.
Well,
That
was
Oh,
in
there's
New
cool.
York
well,
at
yeah,
some point,
not
yeah.
yeah, maybe not from New York, but lived in New York for a while. But maybe like worth looking into and seeing how
Yeah.
close you are because then you can have a Florida friend who's a
Yeah.
witch.
Yeah. Totally.
She's
Totally.
amazing.
Love that. Yeah.
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 We interviewed her on here too not too long ago.
Oh,
She's
okay, cool.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can look up her. I'll look up her
Yeah.
Instagram, but if you got it, send it to me.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
doing it right
awesome.
now.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, so now I see people in my studio one to one for tarot and spell work, and I combine them both. People come in and we read tarot and we see what's alive, and then whatever theme kind of comes out of the tarot portion, then we go into my spell closet and we pull candles and herbs and oils and trinkets and charms, and then we build a spell in real time.
Fun.
And then that person walks out of here with an altar to go home and build. Um, and then also because the Capricorn, like also an action sprint, right? It's the magical
Mhm.
and the practical.
Great.
And I'm really enjoying that. I'm really enjoying that. And then I'm also enjoying the kind of like jazz hands. I don't know why I'm always like, it's like a very jazz hands kind of
Love
thing,
it.
like the event work that I do
Yeah,
here.
Yeah,
tell us
tell
about
us.
that.
Yeah. So I do a couple different types of events. I mean, sometimes people hire me as a reader, right? For a
Mhm.
brand launch or a dinner party or a wellness event, whatever. Um, and some, they all have different tones, right? Some are like
Mhm.
more focused in wellness. I did an event last week for an amazing pajama and makeup brand, and that was more like, it was a room full of Miami influencers, so that had a different tone,
Fun. Mhm.
more jazz handsy. And then I don't know why these jazz hands are coming out, but last week I got hired to read tarot on like two different mega yachts in
Oh
West Palm
my
Beach.
goodness. Wow.
And the West Palm Beach, it was really, I don't know, like I got sick on Saturday night after the energy of
Yeah.
those 2 days because on the first one, and you guys both read?
Yeah.
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 So when I get hired for them, I like to have a dedicated space, right? So I can
Right.
ground. I'm not moving around. I can reset in between
Clear
people.
your energy.
And on this boat, there was no space for me. So I was literally like, they're like, well, can you just kind of like walk around? And of course I was like, yeah, like the performer in me was like,
Mhm.
sure I can. Let me pull a rabbit out of a hat. And also because it felt fun in the moment, right?
Right.
It's fun. And then suddenly I did feel a little bit like, I was really enjoying myself, right? So nothing is,
Mhm.
and then I also felt very much almost like a magician who walks around like
Right.
a wedding and does like tricks at each table.
Right.
And just like the balancing of those two energies of like really having fun and dropping in deeply with people, but then also kind of feeling like a performing magician.
Yeah.
That's just something to notice, right? I didn't
Mhm.
love that aspect of what I had willingly said yes to.
Well, and then
Uh,
it kind of has that fortune telly kind of vibe too to tarot, which, most of us aren't really reading tarot for that kind of
no,
energy. Yeah.
100%. And
Yeah.
I don't mind people sit down and they go, I don't want to know anything bad. And I'm like,
Right.
I'm not telling you your future. That's not how I
Right.
read.
Hmm.
Um, but you know what I noticed is that, and this is, I think, just goes back to this whole idea of what we're talking about is like what truly matters, right? Settling
Mhm.
into the luscious abundance of the love and the health that we have in our lives. Like, West Palm Beach is an incredibly affluent community. It's like cuckoo wealth. It's like
Yeah.
stupid wealth, right? And there was so much unhappiness
Yeah.
Right.
in the stories that I was receiving from
That's what
Mhm.
I
people.
was wondering when you said you didn't you got sick from it is for them also it's all very performative and so no everybody's masking and
Yeah.
not truly maybe who they feel like they are in those situations.
It was, yeah, yes, a lot, definitely some of that, the performative, the masks, the clothing, the bags, the brands, right?
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not judging, I live in
No,
my,
never.
it's like Miami's it's like I live in a flashy place, and
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
drop into the flashy can be fun, and then you go back into the realness of your own life,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But there was such a I don't know, it was like such vast unhappiness, like terrible stories of loss and disconnection to one's children and
Mm.
story after story. It was just interesting, in
Mhm.
juxtaposition of this like beautiful setting on this
Mhm.
super yacht with the sun
Right.
shining. Um, just interesting experiences. We talked about how we got into this story is talking about events. I love events.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm still learning to manage my energy
Mhm.
Right.
in relation to these events.
Yeah. It's
And
so different.
I also want to point back to that as like it's a beautiful reminder that like chasing after those things isn't everything and that like
totally.
you can be happy in your life and enjoy beautiful things, but like it's all kind of relevant, I guess, to I don't know what I'm trying to say, but just because it appears that you have all of these things doesn't mean that somebody has more than you or is happier than
Totally.
you and you don't have to chase this like
100%.
unattainable thing. Like you
Yes.
can be worthy and happy without grandiosity.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So those are the events that I do when I'm reading. And then I do monthly events at different hotels and social clubs here where I'm coming up with some kind of a topic. And it's like a 90-minute, 2-hour workshop, women gathering. Last week I did one called Momentum in the Moon, talking about the moon cycle and the moon phases
Mm.
and when are the optimal times for doing your manifesting rituals and when are optimal times for releasing rituals. Sometimes it's a tarot circle, sometimes it's about the zodiac sign we're in.
Mhm.
Um, I am starting this is interesting too, the rise of the Etsy witch and the most have you guys seen these articles about the rise of the Etsy
Mm-mm.
witch? Okay, Google it.
Love it.
Um, and the most anecdotally, the most popular spell that's being sold on Etsy is a wedding weather spell. Is a
Oh.
spell to have good weather on your wedding day.
No way. That's so
I
random.
swear. And as I talk, because I work with different event planners here,
Uh-huh.
and I'm starting to do more offering my services for more weddings and brides and bachelorette
Yeah.
blessings and things like
Perfect.
that. They're like, "Well, do you do the weather spell?" 'Cause they all
That's
know
wild.
about it. They all know about it. So, I'm, like, formulating this offering to do in-person wedding weather spells, but, like, it's Miami. We get a lot of rain, so I'm like,
Right.
I can't promise you, cannot promise you it's not gonna rain, but can we see, can we be in a mindset where our magic is alive even if it's raining, right? This or something better,
Mhm.
right? So it's just
Yes.
interesting. I feel like the event space here in Miami with what I'm doing, it offers me a lot of room for creativity and
Mhm.
play. And I am giving myself the room to kind of explore and try this and try that.
So fun.
Last year for Mother's Day, I did an event for mothers and daughters where we did magic together and ritual together. And that was really beautiful.
Mm.
I
So
That's
love
I'm
so
that.
just,
sweet.
yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. I'm
You know,
just
I'm
allowing.
thinking about the weather spell and maybe a way that you can kind of frame it with people too. Because I've heard from some people like they'll do like family check-ins or whatever and like how's your weather today? Talking about like emotional weather. So not
Yeah.
just the physical weather and it,
Yeah.
hopefully not raining, but like what if we're manifesting the vibes and how we're all feeling and
Beautiful.
I don't know. That could be a fun way to kind of spin it for people where they're
Yes,
like, okay, if it rains on my wedding day, then like we're okay. Like as long as we're happy and
totally.
joyful.
Yes, yes. I love that. I love
It
that.
just
I'm
was
jotting
something
that
clicking
down.
in my brain.
Thank you.
You can have
Thank
it.
you.
I'm
I
not
love thank
doing
you so
weddings.
much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So we're about an hour in. I
Yeah.
think that maybe if you want to add anything else, or if our listeners can work with you in any way. I don't know if you do virtual stuff as
Yeah.
well.
I do. I do virtual one-to-ones. I everyone can find me at Dana B. Myers or Dana Myers XOXO on Instagram and book with me. I sometimes do group Zooms,
Oh,
which
fun.
is really fun. I think I'm going to start that up again. So just get connected with me on Instagram, and that's the best way to get involved and find out how we can work together.
Amazing. Your
Yeah.
energy is so inviting and so
Thank you.
fun and
Mhm.
open, and I'm sure anyone would be so lucky to work with you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. Should we pull a quick card?
Let's do our questions
Oh
first,
yeah.
and then we'll
Cool.
have you pull the
Great. Yeah,
card.
you lead me
Okay.
in. Great. Yes, please.
Okay, cool. So, our first question we like to ask all of our guests is what is something that you do for self-care that you just can't live without?
Oh, magic for
Yeah, I was gonna
sure.
say, like, I think we've been talking about it this whole time. Ritual, ritual, ritual.
Candle magic, candle magic, candle magic for sure.
Yes.
That's my number one outlet for self-care. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then if you could tell your younger self at any point one thing, what would it be?
Oh, you can and you will. You can
Yeah.
and you will, and you always do. Yeah.
Yes.
Great advice for your roller coaster.
Yeah.
A great
Yeah.
reminder.
Yeah.
I love
Totally.
it.
Okay, we would be so honored if you would pull a card for us.
All right. Let's pull a card. Let's see what we get. All right. What came out? Hold on. It wasn't ready. We got four of swords and queen of pentacles. But let's just see. I want
Mm.
to tune in a little more. Okay, Ace of Wands. Let's go with Ace of Wands. And I love this one. I don't know if you can see this deck.
Oh, what a fun deck.
It's cool, right? And it's like you're turning a new page, right? A new page, a new chapter is being illuminated.
Mm.
Inside this crystal ball, we see an image of the magician. This is the
Mm.
magician that's featured in this deck.
Wow.
And there's just, this one wand, right? And we see the magician holding their wand, their will,
Mhm.
their imagination to create whatever it is they set their mind on. But we know that the magician doesn't just set their mind to it, right? They work with the tools and the resources on their table. Just like we've been
Mhm.
talking about this whole
Yep.
time.
Amazing.
How do we how do we start a new chapter? How do we create a new path, fueled by our purpose and our passion and our life force? We harness our will and imagination and our magic with the practical tools and resources that we have to kick off on that journey.
Mm.
And that is the Ace of Wands.
Yes.
Amazing.
Love that so much.
How do you guys like to read the Ace of Wands?
Well, Wands is very like about your passion and those projects like you're talking about. It's the fire starter. It's like, what are we igniting? Where's the spark that we're bringing? So it feels very much like, and I love that the magician is a part of that card because it feels very much about like bringing the dreams and that connection to source and the universe down to the physical and like, okay, well, and there's also a book in that
Yeah.
image too. So it's like, let's write down our goals, our manifestations, our dreams, and then like break it down. What do we need to do? Where are the action steps? How do we like bring this dream into fruition? And it's just the beginning. It's the first step.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
like let's dream it up. Let's start the project. So at that image is very beautiful. I like that really hits the
This
nail. I love
is
that.
the Voice and Vision Tarot. Hold on, I want to give him credit, but his name is hard to remember. Hold on. Okay. It's the Voice and Vision Tarot by Ciro Marchetti.
Wow, I've never seen
Cool.
that deck before.
Yeah, he
It's
does really, really cool decks. His art is insane. Yeah.
I love that.
Awesome.
I also love that there was you said 4 of Swords and Queen of Pentacles. Like, I think that
Yes.
does play into that too, because the Four of Swords is like, we have to also like rest and give it space and time and, like, don't be hard on yourself when things aren't like developing right now in this moment and trusting like that we will be the Queen of Pentacles. Like
Totally.
the,
Notice how I just discarded them?
I know.
I
I
was
was like, no, those are great cards. Like they totally tell a whole story. It's all part of it. Like, yes, we have our dreams and our visions and the things that we want to call in and work towards, but like we have to give it space and rest is productive too. Like we can't just
Yes.
hustle.
Yes.
We've been talking a lot about that here as well. We have to remember rest. Like rest pops up so much for me and like our community here at Moonbees as well. It's like someone in our circle, someone always gets the rest card. Always, always, always. It never fails. And I think it's a reminder that we all need of like, take a moment, go meditate even, or, 20-minute walk, like whatever you're doing to kind of reset the mind, or even a
Yes.
brain dumping session of like all the other bullshit that's on your mind that's kind of
Yes.
blocking you from being able to see the clear vision. And then
Yes.
Queen of
Yes.
Pentacles, like I just think of you like in your queen era,
Yes.
claiming your space, so
Yes.
that you can like help create a better foundation and a new way of supporting your family and yourself like in this incredible way. And I think that's something we can all be inspired by too.
Beautiful.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah, what you said.
Yeah, what you said.
Pulling those into we can't disregard those.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
One
Beautiful.
day I'll rest when I don't have a toddler.
I mean,
how old's your
even
toddler?
Yeah.
She's 2.5. It's very fun.
It is very
It's
fun.
just always going and doing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a
love
season
it.
for everything, for sure.
Mhm. How old are your children?
They are almost 13 and almost 16.
Wow.
Oh, fun. It's
Getting there.
crazy. It just
Yeah,
is like
totally.
goes by and so quickly. It's like
Yeah.
really hard to wrap your mind around.
Yeah. Yeah. But they love
Oh my gosh.
they
So
love
much
and
fun.
I do. And they come along on the magical ride, which is nice. Yeah. Really nice.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't wait to bring more raise her in that mindset of just like being open to everything and knowing that whatever she's interested in is great, and like having magic in her life and not suppressing that like a lot of people do grow up with, I think is going to be so beautiful to watch.
Totally.
Mhm.
Totally. So beautiful. So
Okay.
beautiful.
We are so lucky that you spent some time with us
Yeah.
today. We know it's your wedding anniversary, so you need to get out of here and go love up on your husband. But this was so fun.
This was
Thank
so much
you
fun.
so much. This was really, really wonderful. Thank you. Let's definitely stay in touch.
This episode has been produced by my husband, Curtis Burgess.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Waking Up the Witch.
And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at wakingupthewitch@gmail.com.
And don't forget to head over to the link in our bio on Instagram for all the ways to connect with both Amber and Taylor. And go to moonbeeswellness.com for all your self-care and witchy needs.
We love you. Bye.
Bye. Ow. Ow.